Listen to me now. Your life is crumbling around you right now, isn't it? The bills, they keep coming, that relationship. It's failing, your health. It's declining. And that voice in your head, you know the one I'm talking about, it keeps whispering, you can't handle this. But what if? What if? What if I told you something heaven revealed to me in the midnight hour? What if I told you that the ancient wisdom that carried emperors through war and lifted a janitor's son from poverty to purpose shares the exact same secret? A secret so powerful it can transform your chaos into clarity before this message is over. Let me tell you something. T.D. Jakes wasn't born with a microphone in his hand and thousands at his feet. No, he was born to a janitor, did you hear me? A janitor and a homemaker in South Charleston. When he stood over his father's grave at just 16 years old with tears streaming down his face and questions with no answers, he wasn't controlling what happened to him. He was learning to control how he would respond. The same wisdom that Marcus Aurelius wrote by candlelight while commanding Roman legions is the wisdom Bishop Jakes now thunders from pulpits across America. Control what you can. Accept what you can't. Know the difference. Lean in close because I need you to hear this. This isn't just spiritual talk. This isn't just philosophy. This is survival. The American crisis of control. Look around you. America is experiencing an epidemic of anxiety unlike anything we've seen before. According to the American Psychological Association, 73% of adults report overwhelming stress levels that significantly impact their daily functioning. The prescription rates for anti-anxiety medications have skyrocketed by 65% in the last decade. We are a nation desperately trying to control everything while feeling in control of nothing. Is it any wonder we live in an age where financial stability feels like a cruel joke, with 64% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck? Political division tears apart families over Thanksgiving dinner. Technology promised to connect us, but instead leaves 61% of young adults feeling seriously lonely. The average middle-aged American juggles, caring for both aging parents and growing children, while fighting to stay relevant in a job market that worships youth. Our fixation on controlling outcomes has created an entire culture of disappointment. We believe that if we just work hard enough, plan thoroughly enough, or worry intensely enough, we can bend reality to our will. This illusion of control isn't just causing disappointment, it's crushing us. I was in prayer last night and God whispered something to me so profound I almost couldn't stand under the weight of it. He said, "Son, tell my people their problem isn't their problems. Their problem is how. Their carrying. Their problems." Can you receive that? The ancient Stoics, men who counseled emperors and guided nations, they would have fallen to their knees in agreement with this divine revelation. The wisdom that transcends time. When T.D. Jakes stands at the pulpit, his voice rising and falling like thunder and rain, he isn't just preaching Christianity. Whether he realizes it or not, he is channeling wisdom that predates the Bible, wisdom from men like Epictetus, who taught that there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This core teaching, that we must distinguish between what we can and cannot control, forms the foundation of both Stoic philosophy and Bishop Jakes' most transformative sermons. The Stoics called it dichotomy of control. Jakes often calls it leaving it in God's hands. The language differs, but the profound truth remains identical. Liberation comes not from controlling your environment, but from mastering your response to it. I want you to consider something that shook me to my core when God revealed it to me. Listen to these parallel teachings. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was once a slave. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Now hear what the Spirit says through me. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. In your response is your power. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And what did I preach in Dallas just last month? Your circumstances don't define your outcome. Your mindset determines your altitude. Do you see it? Do you see what heaven is showing us? This convergence isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. It speaks to a universal truth that transcends culture, religion, and time. A truth America is dying to reclaim in this very hour. The battleground is within. I need to share something with you. Nobody else needs to hear this right now. This is just between you and me and the Holy Spirit. Heaven revealed something to me about your struggle at 3 o'clock this morning when everyone else was sleeping. The Lord said, "Tell them the battle isn't happening around them, it's happening within them." Do you have the courage to receive this word? This revelation mirrors what those ancient Stoic philosophers understood, that our emotional suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. Seneca, who advised Emperors, put it this way: we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When anxiety grips you at 3 a.m. and you're staring at that ceiling, I need to ask you something. Is it actually the circumstances crushing you, or is it your thoughts about them? I'm talking to somebody right now who's juggling mortgage payments that keep you up at night. I'm talking to somebody with a teenager's college applications spread across your kitchen table. I'm talking to somebody who just left your parents' medical appointment with news you didn't want to hear. For you, this wisdom isn't some abstract philosophy. It's a lifeline. The bills, they aren't optional. Your aging parents' decline. It can't be reversed. The economy, it won't bend to your will no matter how much you worry about it. But your interpretation, your response, that remains firmly within your control. What you're going through isn't going to change immediately, but you can change immediately. Somebody needs to receive that word right where you are. The 4 domains of control. Both T.D. Jakes' teaching and Stoic philosophy recognize 4 distinct domains where we must learn to apply this wisdom of control. 1. Thoughts and beliefs, the inner sanctuary. Guard your mind with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life, Jakes often preaches, echoing Proverbs 4:23. The Stoics similarly place thoughts as the primary domain of control, with Marcus Aurelius writing, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This isn't positive thinking, it's truthful thinking. It's the disciplined practice of questioning our automatic assumptions and catastrophic predictions. When financial pressures mount and your mind races to visions of homelessness, both Jakes and the Stoics would ask, "Is this true? Is this helpful? Is this within my control?" They would direct you instead to focus on what actions you can take today, however small. 2. Actions and habits, the domain of discipline. Your destiny is determined by your decisions, Jakes often declares, his voice rising with each syllable. Similarly, Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Both traditions recognize that while we can't control outcomes, we always control our next move. The job market may be brutal, but you control whether you update your resume. Your health diagnosis may be shocking, but you control whether you follow the treatment plan. For the overwhelmed middle-aged American, this focus on controllable actions provides immediate relief from the paralysis of anxiety. You don't need to solve all problems today. You need only to take the next right step. 3. Character and virtue, the legacy domain. Your character is what God knows about you. Your reputation is what people think about you, Jakes teaches. The Stoics similarly focused on character development as the ultimate controllable domain, with Epictetus noting, "Make it your study to die daily to reputation." Both teachings recognize that public opinion, social media likes, and even others' approval lie outside our control. What remains firmly within our grasp is our integrity, our kindness, our courage in facing adversity. For Americans caught in the comparison trap of social media and status anxiety, this wisdom offers freedom. You can't control whether your career advances as quickly as your neighbors, but you can control whether you maintain your ethics in pursuit of success. 4. Purpose and meaning, the transcendent domain. Your purpose is not determined by your pain. Your pain reveals your purpose, Jakes preaches in his most electrifying moments. The Stoics similarly viewed suffering as an opportunity to exercise virtue, with Seneca writing, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Both perspectives transform life's uncontrollable hardships from meaningless suffering into purposeful challenges. The parent of a child with special needs didn't choose those circumstances, but can choose to become an advocate. The survivor of financial collapse didn't choose bankruptcy, but can choose to teach others financial literacy. For the meaning-hungry American soul, this reframing of uncontrollable circumstances into opportunities for purpose provides profound resilience. The false gods of American control. Our culture promotes many illusions of control that both T.D. Jakes and Stoic philosophy would identify as harmful. The myth of perfect planning. Americans are obsessed with 5-year plans, retirement calculators, and productivity systems. While organization has value, we often behave as though sufficient planning can eliminate all uncertainty. As Jakes has revealed in his quieter moments, sometimes God allows interruptions to your plans because His purpose for your life is bigger than your plans for your life. Seneca similarly observed, "Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters." The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, actively visualizing how plans might fail, not to induce anxiety but to prepare the mind for adaptation. For the American addicted to the illusion of certainty, this wisdom teaches flexibility without abandoning intentionality. The trap of material security. America's consumer culture is selling you a lie. It's whispering day and night that if you just accumulate enough savings, enough insurance, enough stuff in your garage and your closet, you will finally feel secure. But I came to challenge that lie directly to your face today. Your net worth is not your self-worth. What you have doesn't define who you are. The Stoics, they were onto something powerful. They practiced what they called voluntary discomfort, intentionally going without comforts to strengthen their independence from externals. Epictetus taught something that would revolutionize Wall Street if they had ears to hear. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. I'm talking to somebody right now who's stretching every paycheck to maintain an Instagram-worthy lifestyle while secretly drowning in debt. You're smiling on social media but crying in your car. The Spirit says this wisdom offers you the freedom of sufficiency. You don't need more, you need meaning. The illusion of relationship control. Perhaps nowhere do we suffer more from illusions of control than in relationships. We believe we can change others, force them to meet our needs, or manipulate them into staying. T.D. Jakes, drawing on his extensive marriage counseling experience, often states, "You can't control other people. You can only control yourself and how you respond to them." Epictetus similarly taught, "When we try to control what isn't ours, we lose what is ours, our peace of mind." For Americans navigating complicated family dynamics, adult children making choices parents wouldn't choose, spouses growing in different directions, aging parents refusing assistance, this wisdom provides both boundaries and compassion. The deception of social validation. In our hyperconnected age, Americans have become addicted to the dopamine hit of social approval. We carefully curate our online presence, measure our worth in engagements, and adjust our authentic selves to maximize external validation. T.D. Jakes addresses this directly. "What God whispered to me about your struggle is that you've been living for likes when you were created for love." Marcus Aurelius, though writing centuries before social media, understood this tendency. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. For Americans exhausted by performing for an ever-watching digital audience, this wisdom offers the authenticity we secretly crave. Practical applications of controlled response. The power of the control what you can philosophy lies in its immediate applicability to our most pressing challenges. Consider how this wisdom transforms our approach to common American struggles. Financial pressure, uncontrollable, economic fluctuations, company layoffs, market crashes, inflation rates. Controllable, spending habits, emergency savings, skill development, entrepreneurial side ventures. T.D. Jakes, who built his ministry from poverty, often teaches, your financial situation may be limited, but your creativity is unlimited. Rather than obsessing over economic factors beyond your influence, focus on developing multiple streams of income, eliminating unnecessary expenses, and redefining success beyond material acquisition. The Stoics similarly practiced distinguishing between wants and needs, with Seneca, himself a wealthy man, regularly living as though he were poor to remind himself that he could survive with less. For the 64% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, this shift from external financial circumstances to internal financial choices provides immediate agency. Health challenges, uncontrollable, genetic predispositions, aging processes, some diagnoses, past health choices. Controllable, nutrition choices, movement habits, sleep hygiene, stress management, medical compliance. When facing his own health challenges, T.D. Jakes has shared, my body may have limitations, but my spirit has none. I focus on what I can do today, not what I can't. The Stoics viewed the body as preferred indifferent, worth caring for but not ultimately defining our worth. Marcus Aurelius, who likely suffered chronic pain, wrote, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. For middle-aged Americans noticing the first serious signs of mortality, the elevated blood pressure, the concerning lab results, the family history becoming personal reality, this wisdom offers a path of responsibility without shame. Family conflict, uncontrollable, others' opinions, past hurts, family members' choices, inherited dysfunction. Controllable, your boundaries, your communication, your forgiveness, your responses. In counseling thousands of families, T.D. Jakes frequently teaches, you can't control your family history, but you can control your family legacy. Epictetus similarly advised, remember that you are an actor in a play determined by the author. If he wishes the play to be short, it is short. If long, it is long. If he wants you to play a beggar, play even this role skillfully. For Americans navigating the complexities of blended families, political divisions at holiday tables, and the sandwich generation's competing demands, this wisdom creates space for both compassion and boundary setting. Career uncertainty, uncontrollable, industry disruption, biased evaluation systems, economic downturns, workplace politics. Controllable, skill development, relationship building, work ethic, adaptability, creative problem solving. Let me tell you something about my journey from a storefront preacher with 10 people to an international ministry reaching millions. It didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen because I chased titles. Your job title is not your purpose. Your career path is not your calling. What you do for a living should support what you do for a life. Can I get a witness in here? Seneca, a man who had it all and then lost it all, noted, no man has ever been so far advanced by fortune that she didn't threaten him as greatly as she had previously indulged him. I know I'm talking to somebody facing age discrimination right now. Somebody whose job is being threatened by technology that didn't even exist when you started your career. Somebody who's hit a plateau and can't see the mountain top anymore. The Spirit of the Lord says to you today, this wisdom isn't just offering you resilience, it's offering you reinvention. It's not over until God says it's over. The transformation process. Both T.D. Jakes and Stoic philosophy outline a remarkably similar process for implementing this wisdom. Step 1. Awareness through pause. In the pauses God speaks, Jakes often whispers, creating a momentary silence in arenas filled with thousands. When life's storms are raging, don't make decisions, make space. The Stoics practiced what they called the discipline of assent, creating space between stimulus and response. Epictetus taught, make it your study not to be carried away by impressions, for if once you gain time and delay, you will more easily master yourself. This practice of pause, whether through prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply deep breathing, creates the essential space for wisdom to emerge. Step 2. Division through questioning. With methodical precision, T.D. Jakes often leads his audience through powerful questioning. Ask yourself, can I change this situation, or can I only change my response to it? Is this mine to carry, or am I carrying what belongs to God? The Stoics similarly used questioning to divide experiences into what is up to us and not up to us. Epictetus began his famous handbook with this practice. Some things are within our power while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. This questioning process, simple but not easy, forms the core of both traditions' approach to suffering. Step 3. Action through discipline. Faith without works is dead, Jakes thunders, quoting James 2:17. You haven't been waiting on God, God's been waiting on you to act on what He's already shown you. The Stoics similarly emphasized that philosophy without action was worthless, with Seneca writing, we should not only talk but live philosophy. Both traditions recognize that insight without implementation creates not wisdom but frustration. Step 4. Surrender through acceptance. In his most vulnerable moments, T.D. Jakes often shares, I had to learn to let go, not give up, but give over what wasn't mine to control in the first place. The Stoics practiced what they called amor fati, love of fate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This final step, genuine acceptance of what we cannot control, represents not defeat but the ultimate freedom. The divine connection. For T.D. Jakes, the wisdom of control is inseparable from his understanding of God's sovereignty. What heaven revealed to me is that your anxiety comes from trying to be God in your own life. Some things aren't yours to control, they're His. While the Stoics approached this from a different theological perspective, they too connected this wisdom to something larger than the individual. Marcus Aurelius wrote of the divine part of you, while Epictetus often referenced God or Zeus as the ultimate designer of fate. For the spiritually hungry American, this connection offers profound comfort. The uncontrollable circumstances aren't random chaos, they contain purpose. Your responsibility isn't to control everything, but to control your participation in a larger story. Whether through Jake's Christian framework or the Stoics' cosmic perspective, this wisdom elevates the control what you can principle from mere coping mechanism to sacred practice. America's path forward. America, we stand at a crossroads. We can continue pursuing the illusion of control, building higher walls, accumulating more possessions, manipulating more variables, or we can embrace the wisdom that has sustained both saints and emperors. Control what you can. Accept what you can't. Know the difference. The middle-aged American doesn't need more options. You don't need more information. You don't need more opportunities. What you need is discernment. the God-given wisdom to distinguish between what demands your energy and what demands your acceptance. I feel the Spirit moving. What heaven is saying right now to this nation of anxiety is simple. Stop exhausting yourself trying to control what was never yours to control. Your power isn't in changing your circumstances, it's in changing yourself in the midst of them. Those ancient Stoics, if they could see us now, they would surely nod in agreement. Across centuries and traditions, this wisdom remains our surest path to freedom. A personal invitation. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you actually implemented this wisdom. The mental energy you'd reclaim from worrying about circumstances beyond your control. The confidence you develop by focusing your efforts where they actually matter. The relationships that would heal when you stop trying to control others. The peace you'd experience by accepting what simply is. This isn't abstract philosophy. This isn't mere religious teaching. This is practical wisdom for the overwhelmed American soul. I need to tell you what God revealed to me as I was preparing this message. He showed me someone is listening right now who is carrying burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. The Lord said, "Tell them today is their divine moment to lay those burdens down. Not because you're weak, but because you're finally strong enough to admit what's yours to carry and what's His." The path begins with a simple, yet profound question that has guided both bishops and emperors. Is this within my control? Answer honestly, and watch your life transform.